Hello and welcome to this channel. My name is Emma and this is where I talk about all of my knitting. Today will be a regular episode and I feel like it will be a shorter one because I don't have as many projects as usual, but as I could be giving birth anytime now, I thought it was a good time to actually film one episode today and show you a little bit what I've been knitting on. So I hope you're cozy, that you have maybe something to knit with you or something else to do, maybe a warm drink, and let's start. So for the finished objects, today I only have one and it's a small one and it's this cardigan. I have to warn you, I have a lot of baby knits today. I have other projects too, but since the baby is coming soon, I have a few projects for the baby. So this is the first one. And this is a cardigan from the Ellen's Coming Home set by Petiteknit, which has a cardigan, a bonnet and some pants. And I've knitted in Drops Lima. This one. And this is 65% wool and 35% alpaca, and it's really soft. It's really squishy, and this is a DK weight yarn, supposed to have a 21 stitch gauge, but for the pattern I think it's 23, so it's a little bit dense, and I think it will keep the baby really warm and cozy for winter month. So I knit this in the size 3 to 6 months. So I think we will be able to, the baby will be able to wear it like straight from the beginning, rolling up the sleeves, and it will be a bit long, but then for the whole winter. And it's a very easy pattern. You knit the pattern band as you knit the body, so you don't have to pick up stitches. Those are some raglan increases, so very basic. And the buttons, I have one that is a little bit different because we found the buttons at my partner's grandmother's house, and so we found this set that we thought would go well with this cardigan, but we only had 6, so the 7th was a little bit different, but I really don't mind. And that's all I have to say with this project. I think it's really cute, and so my partner wanted me to make the whole set. So now for the works in progress, I have the bonnet from the same set. I started it, so I'm using the same yarn, Drops Lima, same needle size, and I'm just at the beginning of it. So we're doing some ribbing at the beginning here, and at the moment I'm just knitting straight back and forth. I think I have about like 1 centimeter more to go, and then I can start knitting in the round. I haven't looked at the pattern yet, so I'm not sure what I have to do next. I just know I have about 1 centimeter left to knit, and this is it. So I'm not sure, I don't know like if it's gonna be easy or not. Anyway, I started the bonnet. And that's it. I think I'm still knitting this like 3 to 6 months to go with the cardigan. It might be a little bit big for a newborn. So this will be maybe for a bit later, but still this winter, I'll see. And that's it. I think this is my 3rd ball of yarn after knitting the cardigan and knitting the beginning of this bonnet. I'm not sure yet, I will be knitting the pants. We'll see. I have the yarn for it, we'll see how much time I have. And the next work in progress that I have is this one. I think, because I'm going to show you this one first, because once I had finished knitting the cardigan, I saw this call for test knitters from Sandra Maghalaes to knit the Brownie baby cardigan. So I had been knitting this one in a DK weight yarn, 3 to 6 months old. This one is knitted in fingering weight yarn for me, but you can knit it in sport weight yarn too. And I'm knitting it in the size 6 to 9 months old, so it will be for spring, so a lighter garment for spring. And this is what it looks like at the moment. So for the yarn, maybe first, do I have it with me? This is the yarn. I'm just going to get a full ball so I can show you the ball bend. The light is changing quite a bit outside, so I have to adjust the light from the camera from time to time, so I hope it will be okay. So I'm knitting this cardigan with stash yarn, so with Drops Flora. This is a fingering weight yarn, and this has some alpaca and wool in it. Let me check. 65% wool, 35% alpaca. Actually, I'm thinking it's the same blend as Lima. This one seems a little bit more, like a little bit softer than Flora, but maybe that's because it's more, it's thicker, I'm not sure, but it's actually the same blend. And I remembered that I had some of this yarn in my stash. I remembered that I had some blue yarn, so I wanted to change a little bit because this cardigan was already beige, and so I thought, oh, some blue will be nice. And my partner picked up some of my blue yarn from our house, because we're not in our house at the moment. Anyway, and so he had picked up 1.5 balls, and so I made the swatch with the blue yarn, and then I went to our house to pick up the rest of the yarn and realized that it was the whole stash that I had, 1.5 balls, which was not enough to make the cardigan. So I realized that I had a lot of this yarn, so this beige yarn. I do like it. I just thought it would be nice to make some knitting in some colors and not just some beige yarn. Since I already have this cardigan, I will have the bonnet with this yarn, with the beige yarn. That's it. I wanted to knit from stash. I have this one, so that's what I did. And this one I have a lot of it. I think I wanted to make a cardigan with it, never got around to it, and I didn't like the pattern anymore or something like that. So I have this yarn in stash. And I've been using it quite a lot in different projects, but still have some in my stash. So now for the construction of this little cardigan. This is a drop shoulder cardigan, as you can see. It's knit bottom up, which I think is not so much of a problem because it's just it's for a baby, so you won't try it on as you go. I think you could, but yeah. This is a double folded hem at the bottom of the cardigan. Then we knit straight. We separate to knit the back and the two fronts separately. Everything is knit back and forth because it's a cardigan. Then we pick up for the sleeves. We do some decreases. Then we have the ribbing for the wrists and do the same, and then we will pick up for the button band and the collar. I actually didn't finish the first sleeve because I didn't have the right needle size, because I had made another swatch with it, I think. Yes. So I put the stitches on hold to knit the second one, and I will knit the cuffs at the end. Once I'm done with this one, I will knit both of them at the same time. And I think it's the patterns from Sandra Maghalaes are always really well written, and it's always really nice because this is quite a beginner friendly pattern, I think, because with drop shoulders you can knit straight. You just have to pick up for the stitches if you want to knit them in round, but that's also what's well written in her patterns, is that you can actually make the sleeves flat or in the round. So she has both options, and both are explained in the pattern. And so if you're a beginner, it might be easier to knit the sleeves flat and then sew them here at the armhole rather than picking up for stitches. Me, I really don't mind picking up stitches, but because I can read my knitting, I know where to pick up the stitches. But for a beginner it can be a bit hard, so actually casting on stitches and knitting and sewing the stitches together can be easier. And I think that you don't, even if it's not really well made, you don't really see it if you don't really know how to sew together the sleeves and the body. I don't think you can really see it, so I think it's really good to have both options. What else? I think that's it for this pattern. It's I still have some time left to finish this test knit, but until now everything's going really well. And yes, I'm looking at it, but I don't think there's really anything else to say. And for the last work in progress that I have, I feel like I'm talking really fast. I don't know if this is just an impression or if it's real. Sorry if it's the case. I hope it's okay for you. And so the last work in progress that I have is some pants for the baby too. Then I have some other things to show you. So those are some pants made in some ribbing. So those are the first impression pants by Drops, and I'm knitting them in Drops Flora, same yarn as before, but a little bit more colorful. So it feels really nice to be knitting with this color. I love it. It makes me really happy to knit with this yarn. With this color and everything. Anyway, so I'm knitting the size 6 to 9 months, so the baby can grow into it. And since those are some ribbed pants, they can be really stretchy. So if I show you without losing some stitches, as you can see, the baby can be really big and still fit in those pants. But then I think that even for a newborn it could be okay, and we just have to roll the top around the belly here, or the bottom of the legs. So I think it's a really good pattern for that. And we have some short rows at the back. I don't know if you can see actually, but the back here is a little bit higher, so we have some short rows to have a higher back, so the baby's bum is not showing. And I think it would be really nice to use around the cloth diapers that we used for our toddler when he was a baby, and that we will use again now for this baby. So I think it will be really good, and since it's a winter baby, it's going to be good to be wrapped in wool, to be really warm and cozy. I feel like this is going to take forever to knit because it's in ribbing. Even though it's a small circumference, it just takes a long time, but it's okay. I think I really want to, I want to finish this cardigan before the baby's born, because it's a test knit, so I'm knitting a lot more on this one at the moment, because I need to give my feedback and report if there is an error. Whereas for this one, I can still knit it when the baby's here, even though it will be a bit less easy because, well, with a newborn, I will have a lot less time. But yes, I'm still knitting from time to time on this project. Now for the, I'm not sure if I show you, I will show you. I have 2 swatches and then one sweater that I'm kind of redoing. I will show you, but I'm going to start with the swatches that I have. So I'm going to start with one that I've talked about in my knitting plans, in my autumn knitting plans, because I really wanted to make it and to knit it like before the end of the pregnancy. I think this was too optimistic and it won't happen, but yes. So once I finished my Lulu Slipover from Petiteknit, I wanted to make the Amy Slipover from Sandnes, which is open on the sides like the Lulu Slipover, but is tied on the sides too, so it's easy for breastfeeding. So that's also why I wanted to have it, and I really wanted to knit it with Plotulopi in this forest green that I have here, that I absolutely love. But when I was knitting the swatch, so I have it here, I have the like a really small swatch, and I couldn't get gauge, so I had to go down a few needle sizes until I went to 2mm needles, which is really small. And I had seen a few projects made with Plotulopi from Istex in Ravelry, and then when I started looking a little bit more into it, I realized that this is a pattern that has a 21 stitch gauge when Plotulopi is made to have a 19 stitch gauge. That's why I couldn't get gauge easily. And I thought it was making a really dense fabric, which is okay. I just think I'm just a little bit afraid that I will break my needles, because those are so small, and if it's really too tight and too dense of a fabric, then it will be hard on my hands, and it won't be really comfortable to knit with those needles and this size of yarn. So I'm quite a bit unsure about what to do, because it's already a large garment. There's only one size, which will already be big for me. And so I think that if I'm knitting with a smaller gauge, like not 21 but like 23, it could be okay. But if I'm knitting it with a 19 stitch gauge, it will be way too big for me. So either I stick, because I could get gauge with my 2mm needles, so either I stick to this and I knit it with really small needles, but I will have to take some time to knit it, not to hurt my hands, or I have to change the yarn that I'm using, and I don't want that. So I think, because those are some needles from my Chiaogu set, the mini set. So the needles are really small, and I've already broke some of those needles. So I think that I'm going to buy some needles some fixed circular needles, 2mm, and we'll start this project. I think that's really what I want to do, and keep this yarn because I really like it. I love the color, I love knitting with this yarn, and I have it now because I bought it for this project, so I don't want to change it. I don't want to have to buy another yarn and not knowing what to do with this one. So yes, that's my plan, but that's why it took me so long after knitting this swatch, knowing what to do with it, and that's why I haven't started this project yet. This is a really rustic yarn. Plotulopi is a lot more rustic than Manchelopi, which is also an unspun yarn, and I've knit a few times already with Manchelopi. It's really soft. This could be, if you're sensitive, it could be a bit prickly, I think. For me, so it's completely okay. It just feels dry, so yes, that's something to know. Oh, and also I wanted to knit this one with Plotulopi because I only need 200 grams of yarn to knit this slipover, so it's going to be a really lightweight garment but still warm, so I thought it was really nice with this yarn. And then my second swatch. I wanted to start something really easy, something that I could knit on, not really thinking, and I wanted to have it ready for after giving birth, so when I will have my baby it will be easy to knit on it from time to time. And I wanted to have something very basic in my wardrobe. That's why I wanted to knit the Monday sweater from Petiteknit, and I chose to knit it in white in Drops Puna here, which is 100% alpaca, so soft, so cozy. That's really what I wanted now. And so it's a DK weight yarn, and the color is 01, so white. And I have this. It's rolling, this little swatch, and I got gauge with my 3mm needles, so it's a little bit bigger than all the other needles that I have. So it's gonna be nice to have something just a tiny bit bigger. It's still not big needles, but it's okay. I don't knit with really big needles. So for this one, everything is ready, but I was, I think, just waiting to finish the Brownie baby cardigan, this one, before I'm actually starting this one, because I really wanted to finish this one as it is a test knit. So this one I wanted to make the swatch, so it's ready to go. I know which needle size to use, and the yarn is good, and I'm good to go with it. I'm just waiting to finish some of the other projects. I feel like lately I've been wanting to finish some of my projects before actually starting so many new ones, because sometimes I'm just grabbing all of my project bags and looking through them and thinking, okay, I have so many projects, now I need to finish some of them. Whereas sometimes I just want to cast on new projects, and I'm okay to have like 10 projects or even more. At the moment I want to have a few less projects and finish the ones that I have on my needles. Oh, I forgot one. Okay, I knew I had another one. I forgot one work in progress that I absolutely love. And it's not a baby knit. I took some notes, and I kind of organized this podcast, so I would do it correctly, but I don't know why I forgot this one. And those are some socks. And those are the, how is it called? The quilted, I have to check for the exact name. It will be on the screen, but I still want to give you the correct name. So let me take my notes. Those are the Under the Quilt socks by Sandnes. Here, and I'm knitting them in Mondim from Retrosaria. So this is the main color, and this is my contrast color. I think that this is the ball band. I only have one in my project bag, but I think it's for the main color, and it's the colorway C582, and this is 100% wool, non-superwash, nylon-free sock yarn, and I love it. I've already knit a pair of socks with this one, and so I was happy to be able to use it for another pair of socks for a contrasting color. I think it's a little bit bright. Might be better. And so in the pattern, so I'm knitting the size 2, and in the pattern the collar work is throughout the whole sock. And I wasn't sure about that because it's already quite warm. With collar work it's even warmer, and when I'm wearing my hand knit socks with this yarn, I'm really warm. I'm not spending my days outside, and so it was way too warm for me to have full collar work socks with this yarn. So I stopped after 2 repeats here. So it's basically 1 repeat in the pattern. So those 2 rows of stars. Then knit a few more rounds here before starting the heel. And I'm knitting it to pattern. The only change that I made is that I didn't change my needle size because I'm already knitting the size 2, so it's already a bit large. And I did some decreases here to go back to the stitch count that we had for the ribbing, because we do make some increases for the color work, so it stays really nice. And that's it. And now I'm not following the pattern anymore, because in the pattern it's written to have a short row heel, which is okay for me, but it's not the one that I liked best. So I made some heel flap and gusset with the stitch count that I like. So I made 16 repetition of the 2 rows, basic one. And now I'm on the decrease part. Here I'm just decreasing to have the right stitch count for my foot, and then I will do anatomical toes, so based on my toe measurements. And that's it. So I'm not following the pattern anymore, and now it's really easy because it's not just knitting the round, decreasing every other row, so I can have a look at it and know if I have to decrease or not, and that's just count my stitches to know where I have to stop the decreases, and then knit in the round until the toes. And those make me so happy. I pick them up from time to time, and I think I will do a knit on them a little bit more. Again, I feel like I've said that a million times in this episode, but once I will be done with this cardigan, the Brownie baby cardigan. And that's it. And I think it's good because then for sure I won't be able to finish them before the baby's born, but at least if I'm bored of knitting only stockinette stitch when I have my baby, I can actually start the second sock and knit the second sock with color work. I don't know how it will be for me, if I will only be able to knit some stockinette stitch if I am able to knit, or if I will have a bit more time or have more energy or brain capacity to knit something else. So I'm happy that I have both ready for when the baby's born. So this was my last work in progress. And then I also realized that it's good to have some new knits, but I also like to actually have a look at the ones that I already have, or that my toddler has, in this case, and see what's wrong and rework on them. So this is actually a knit that my mum made for my toddler, and she knit the, how is it called? It's a jumper. I'm going to show it to you. It might be the Brownie sweater, kid sweater, because it's the same construction as the cardigan. I'm not sure. I'm going to put it on the screen because I don't want to say something wrong, but I think it is. And so this is knit, since I didn't knit it, it was my mum who knit it for my toddler. I didn't really know I couldn't remember the construction, so I had to look at the pattern. I realized it was knit. I didn't realize it at this time, but when I started re-knitting it. Okay, let me start over. This is not very easy to understand when I'm not telling you what the problem is. So the problem was that the collar was way too wide, a little bit too elastic, and so it wasn't really comfortable to wear for my toddler, and also we were always scared to put it on, so because we didn't want it to stretch too much. So I thought, instead of just putting on an elastic, or at the beginning I thought that maybe I could pick up some stitches with a crochet and it would cinch in a little bit and make it less stretchy. But then I thought, no, the collar is just way too big, so let's just unravel it and redo it. This is when I realized that first it was a bottom-up construction, which is not a problem at all. The stitches were picked up for the collar. It gave me such a hard time to undo the collar. I don't know what happened, because I was like, I don't understand. I felt like, you know, when you unravel it, you just have to undo the first, like the bind off row, and that's it. Then it unravels by itself. Here, it was like I was unraveling it from the beginning. So I had to pass the yarn through each stitch, which took forever. And then I looked at the pattern, because at some point I thought, okay, now I have to do something a bit more clever, instead of spending hours doing this. And realized that in the pattern, we put the front stitches here on hold. So those are live stitches. So it was unraveling, but not at the right place, not for the collar, but for the body, in some weird places. Also, it's a 3-needle bind off for the shoulders, and it was unraveling. I was doing something a little bit messy, so it was a little bit hard. I finally got around to it and picked up, I think, like 1/8 of less stitches than what my mom did, because I counted them before I completely unraveled it. She doesn't take any note on what she's doing, so she didn't know how many stitches, for example, she picked up. And so I picked up 1/8 less of the stitches and started knitting again. It's a double folded collar, so it's really squishy. But then I showed it to my mom. I sent her a photo telling her I'm redoing the color so it will be more comfortable. And I was like, this still seems big. I don't know what to do. And she told me, no, the color was way too big. So if I'm only doing a little bit less stitches, it's still going to be way too big. So I stopped here and kind of got stuck there too, not knowing what to do. So I think I will unravel it again, which will be way easier this time, and re-pick up the stitches. What is hard for me with this one is that I can pick up less stitches, especially around the back, but at the front, those are stitches that are live stitches. So I think I made on the two sides. I remade the last row, just knitting 2 stitches together on each side, which decreased of 2 stitches. That's it. But if I'm knitting at a ratio that's way lower, and so picking up a lot less stitches, I'm a little bit afraid that it will cinch in like this, and it will not be really nice to look at. So I'm kind of stuck with this here. Let me know what you would be doing with this. If you would pick up a lot less stitches, if you would I think doing some decreases in the ribbing would be a little bit weird. If I should, I don't know, like re-knit maybe another row here around the front neck, doing 2 stitches, knitting 2 stitches together again, maybe. What would you do with that? And also I don't want it to be like really too small, because this is an oversized sweater, but I still want him to be able to wear it this winter, but I think it can easily fit him next winter too. So I don't want to have a collar that is way too small, and so his head doesn't go through the collar, just because the collar is too small, but the rest of the body is big. So yeah, it's a little bit hard. So I put it on the side and I'm not sure what to do with it. Now that I'm showing it to you, I really feel like I want to knit on it again, just because it's so easy to finish it in a way. It's just a color to make, but it's also decisions to make. So that's what makes it hard. But also I think it would be really nice for my toddler to be able to wear it now, because it's getting really cold, and I think to have this warm jumper would be really good. And he really likes it, so I think he likes it also because my mom knitted for him. And also, since I'm knitting less stitches, I can just reuse the yarn that I had that was knitted in the collar, because, well, I don't have any other yarn. I don't know if my mom still had some left, or if she used it for something else. I don't think she used it for something else. I don't know what she did with it, but yeah. At least, since I know I'm doing a smaller collar, I will have enough of this yarn. So yes, this is my kind of hard project because I don't know what to do with it. But I was really glad that I picked it up, because he wasn't wearing this jumper anymore because it was too big, and so the collar was too big. And so I think it's going to be really nice if he has a new collar with this jumper so he can wear it. And that's it. I have other projects, other works in progress, but I'm looking at them here because they're over there. But I haven't really knitted on them. I still want to finish the Oak Folk doll, and again from Sandra Maghalaes. But her patterns are so good for babies and toddlers that I feel like I'm always knitting her patterns, but it's something that I'm sure about. It's gonna fit, it's gonna be well written, so yes. And I do want to finish this doll. I just have to take, I think, 2 hours to put the fleece in, so I can close it, sew everything together, and that's it. But it's still like 2 or 3 hours. So yes, and I have to think, like, I have to concentrate to do it. I just can't do it on the go or anything. So I have this, and I'm still knitting on my how is it called? I'm always calling it wrong. The half and half triangle shawl from Plotulopi. I'm knitting on it. It keeps growing a little bit. I'm just not going to show it to you every time I film a podcast, because it's just a slow progress. So I still have that too. And I think that's it that I have. I know I have the timeless cardigan from Mondim, and this is left on the side for the moment because it's knit on 2.5mm needles. It's a little bit hard on my hands sometimes, and it's just not a project that I absolutely need right now. And so I just left it on the side because I needed the needles. So yes, you won't see it in the next few weeks, I think. Anyway, so I think that's it for today, and I won't talk about any plans because I don't know yet. I'm not sure. I just talked to you about the swatches that I have, but that's it. The next few weeks are quite unsure for me about what to expect, so I'm glad I could film an episode today. Maybe I will see you in a few weeks, maybe 1, 2, 3 weeks. I don't know. I will try to film a bit more regularly now, just if I have some progress to show you before giving birth, so it can be, yeah, you can see the progress that I make. But yes, so I hope this was not too chaotic. I feel like I talked really fast through the whole episode, but I still hope it was okay for you and that you've been able to make some progress, maybe that you had some inspiration through the knits that I've made, and I will see you next time. Bye!